Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Formula Fun podcast with me, Sinéad.
And
What's wrong
me,
with me?
Shay.
Wow, let's try that again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Formula Fun podcast with me, Jay.
And me, Sinead.
Guess what?
It's race week. Woo! It's finally
Buzzing.
here.
Let's go. Let's effing go.
LFG.
I am very. Yeah, it's going to. I had that for. Yeah. 4 a.m. it is on Sunday because it's in Melbourne, Australia, the first round of 24 rounds of racing we have this year. And the first round's in Melbourne, Australia. And that first start at 4 a.m. our time, United Kingdom time.
Are you going to be there? Are you going to get up?
Yeah, every year. Absolutely. I'm going to wake up at 2 and watch all the coverage beforehand.
Right. Maybe I'll come up to your house and we'll do it together.
Feel free.
I don't think I could do it on my own,
house.
but like if we could get the Red Bulls in and, you know.
Yay.
Or the Monster Lando energy drinks. I don't know, whatever.
There we go.
Whatever your poison is. Yeah.
I am. Yeah. I've waited a long time for this.
I am so excited.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's going to be. I think the first few races, especially whilst these teams still get on top of these regulations, is just going to be awesome. So even if you are not going to watch the race live, like me and Sinead being losers that we are at 4 a.m., I would, if you've been listening to this and you've enjoyed our content so far, follow us along with the journey and even watch the highlights on YouTube. Usually Formula One do a little cut at the end of the race. It's about 7 to 10 minutes long, depending on how exciting the race is. And it will be live. It won't be live. It will be a highlights video, but it will just be very excited. I can't even get my words out. I'm so excited for this season to start and finally get off the ground. We've been recording podcasts for the past month. We've spoken about testing. We've spoken about the secret shakedown. We've spoken about the regulations. We've spoken about Drive to Survive.
Yep.
And now we're talking about the actual racing. No wheel has been turned in anger, and we are now here for it. Buzzing.
Also, not that I would ever promote any illegal activity, but you may be able to find full recordings of the race post-race if you wanted to watch it at a more civilized time. I won't say which, but I've done it in the past, and it is possible.
Nino. I'm coming to get you. So I believe if you have a Sky Sports F1 subscription, they will. You can watch the race on. I'm talking to people that are just based in the UK at the moment. You can watch a rerun of the race throughout the day. They'll probably do a couple of reruns because it is at an ungodly hour.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m. But I believe there's one at like 8, and there's another one later on in the day. Then I think Channel 4 do a highlights. So if you don't have Sky Sports F1. You can watch the highlights of the races throughout the year. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be very, very, very exciting. But first of all, for today's episode, we're going to cover a bit of news about what's been happening recently. We're going to do our predictions. So I don't know what Sinead's predictions are. She doesn't know what mine are. We're going to find out who we think is going to qualify on pole, who's going to be last, who is going to be the best of the rest, who's going to be in the top 5. And we will then finish off our standard podcast as we always do with a Formula Fun fact and our Quizifying, which if you have been watching any of our social media stuff, is starting to pop off a bit. So that's fun. So please feel free to continue commenting, liking, and things, and listen to our podcast. We're available on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Podcast Music, whatever that channel is, and others. And we're also on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces.
And my amazing glasses.
And Sinead's amazing glasses, which is very much a talking point.
Yeah. People just lack whimsy. They lack whimsy, you know. They just need more fun in their lives. I feel bad for them.
No, we're having a lot of fun doing this. So thank you for joining us for the ride. Please like, rate, subscribe, hit the bell notification on all of our channels as well so you can see when the next episode goes up. But first of all, we have some news. Woo! Charles Leclerc got married.
Aw.
Congratulations, Charles. That's very
Congratulations,
exciting.
Charles.
They had a private
Women's
ceremony.
hearts are breaking all over the world, and
I can
probably a lot of men's hearts
I
too.
can
Let's be
hear them.
honest. He's a
He's a
beautiful
very
man.
he's a
Yeah.
very, very good looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear those hearts breaking, shattering into 1,000 pieces. They got married. They had a little private ceremony, small affair in Monaco. Charles is Monegasque and lives in Monaco because that's where he's from. And the photos of them leaving the ceremony, oh my God. He is driving a vintage 1957 Ferrari 250 Testarossa. Testarossa. Who knows? I'm not Italian.
It would be Rossa, but I don't know if
Rossa.
Testarossa. Yeah.
Testarossa. That sounds better.
Double S.
Um,
Yeah.
it is a beautiful. Firstly, congratulations, Charles and Alexandra, for getting married. What a lovely thing to do on the dawn of a new season. And they've been together for a long time. They're a great couple, from what I know, which is very little because I just watched the racing. But the car that was driving around Monaco after was this 1957 Ferrari. It is stunning.
Yeah.
And it's really quite cheap, to be honest. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about actually buying one myself.
Oh yeah. What's it going for?
£9 million.
All right. That's not even double figures. I mean,
That's a lot. Now, my question is it his, or did Ferrari give it to him for this? What do we think?
I think they probably just lent it to him for the day, photos and such.
Do you not think he went, I want this car. It's my car.
Well, of course he said, "I want this car." Like, who wouldn't say that? But I could be wrong. It could have been their wedding gift to him. Like, here you go. Yeah.
Wow, could you
Could have been.
imagine?
But you know that if that is the case, he can never leave.
It's just such a thing of beauty. You know what? If he rocked up to Australia and drove that instead of their new 2026 car, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd go onto my little red button app on the Sky Sports and I'd just follow that car because it is stunning. But yes, congratulations.
Congratulations, Charles.
Wishing you all the happiness for the future. Not that you'll ever listen to this, but if you do, congratulations, Charles and Alexandra. And yeah, wishing you many more, many happy years of wonderful marriage. That's my first bit of news.
Woohoo! And up next, huge win for feminism and female representation in Formula One. Finally, here we are. It has been announced that Turn 6 in Australia at the first race in Melbourne has been renamed to In Her Corner in honor of two very well-established, respected women who are currently working in Formula One. Laura Mueller, who is the race engineer for Ocon at Haas, and Hannah Schmitz, who is the head of strategy at Red Bull. And it's very timely because the day of the race also happens to be International Women's Day. So it all ties together very nicely. And it's great to see two amazing women being celebrated in that way.
Yeah. Hannah Schmitz was the first or one of a very definitely not the first, because I know that Angela's been up there with Lewis, but one of the first of a very small select handful of females that have been on the podium.
Yeah. Max brought her up after his win at Qatar.
Yeah.
And Laura Mueller is the very first female race engineer in Formula One.
Yes, she is.
So that's a huge deal.
Yeah, and I think Ocon has a really, really good relationship with her. I feel like their radio messages and stuff, they seem to be really, like, the communication's great. And I know Ocon's been a big champion of that as well. So yeah, well done. I think it's Engineers Australia and some other thing in Australia that have come together and put this thing together. So very, very good. It's everything's moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Final bit of news I have is we spoke about this loophole that Mercedes have found in terms of to make their engine faster. There's a compression ratio, blah, 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 boring, that should be 1 in 16. They can find a way, we think, that they can do 1 in 18, which means there's more of a bang within the engine, which means more bang, more energy, more power, more speed. The test that was being done was at ambient temperature. The teams did a little vote after testing, and all the teams have said they would like a new test brought in that isn't at ambient temperature, because Mercedes are very clever and read around the rules and went, oh, that tests at ambient temperature. But when the engine is hot, which it will be when it's running, we can open things up and it will be bigger and louder and faster. There's a new test where engines will now be tested at 130 degrees instead of the ambient temperature that it used to be. Mercedes say that doesn't make a difference to us. We're happy with that. Will there be changes? Will we see that after the first 7 races of the season, because this test hasn't been brought in until after the first 7 races, will we see that after the 7th race, Mercedes drop off a cliff? Who knows? We don't know. That's why it's so exciting. Yeah, that's the bits of news that we have. There was a slight concern, given that all of the freight and things from the testing that's just happened in Bahrain was going to Melbourne. There was a slight concern that maybe some of the freight wouldn't arrive in time, given the current situation the world finds itself in. That is apparently not an issue anymore, and everything will be there for Melbourne. Don't know what it means for these races that are going to be happening quite soon after. We've got Saudi, we've got Bahrain. Obviously, everything that's going on at the moment, anyone that's listening to this in those corners of the world, hope you're safe and hope...
and obviously your safety is paramount to
of course,
Formula One racing.
Yeah, 100%. But anyone that is listening, we sending thoughts and support and hope everyone is safe. And look after yourself, because this world is a mad place at the moment. It's chaos. So let's just all look out for each other and let's all just be nice and share peace. That's my thoughts. Right, back to the racing. Predictions. We're doing our first predictions of the year for a race. We're going to start off with qualifying, and we're going to start off with who is qualifying last. Sinead, do you want to go first with who you think is going to qualify in last place?
Yes, I do. In the interest of not continually dogpiling on Lance Stroll, I'm going to say that Alonso will be qualifying last. Come on.
Why?
Aston Martin? Are you kidding me? Like, their performances across all 3 sets of testing has been not very good. It started fine and then it just got worse and worse. And I guess it's a case of, have Honda, who built their engine, had the time to address what seems to be myriad issues? I don't think so. And therefore, I'm putting Alonso qualifying last.
Okay.
And I'm entitled to that opinion.
You are. Qualifying last for the Australian Grand Prix in Albert Park happening this Sunday. I have gone for Fernando Alonso.
No.
Yep. I it's vibes. That's mostly.
So funny.
I think that I don't think they'll qualify. I've got a feeling that the car won't make it round.
It's funny because when I said Alonso, you made a face, and I was like, "Oh, he's like skeptical of my lack of insight."
Nope, it's because it's the same. I think I'd be surprised if they make it round at high power. There is a rule that a car has to qualify within 100%, 107%. There's a 107% rule. 107% of the persons of the fastest car.
Yeah.
Teams can then take a vote to say no, they can still race. It was basically just to help with safety, because if there is a car going that much slower, there could be safety concerns, crashes.
Like a restricted driver on the motorway.
Exactly.
Doing 45, yeah. What a
Yeah.
crazy rule. Yeah.
Yeah. When I used to have my little 50cc and it couldn't, and it was a restricted bike and
Yeah.
it wasn't able to go on certain roads, and all of a sudden it was de-restricted. And it was like really fast.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have gone for Alonso just because I think Honda is his worst nightmare. I
Right.
think Honda came back into the sport with McLaren when Fernando joined McLaren, and it was horrific.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alonso left. Honda also left McLaren and went to Red Bull. They then started winning championships, and then
Mm-hmm.
Honda was the engine to have, and they were fantastic. Fernando's gone to Aston Martin. Hey, we're going to
Honda
be a
have followed
works,
him. Yeah.
we're going to be a works team with Honda. Honda, I didn't realize this. Honda pulled out of F1, which then meant Red Bull was going down their own powertrains route,
Mm-hmm.
where they made their own engine. Honda literally gutted the factory that was building the F1 engines. The factory was almost a shell. Then
Okay.
they went, actually, on second thoughts, let's get back into F1. So they
Right.
were 4 months behind. Adrian Newey was 4 months late arriving to Aston Martin, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
4 months, but they were months / maybe longer, maybe even
Mm-hmm.
years
Mm-hmm.
behind the development that these engines and battery systems have required to get them to a place where they should be.
Okay.
Um, because Honda pulled out and went, actually, Formula One's in a really good place at the moment. Let's get back in.
Right.
So whoever that made that decision at the last moment, I
Oh.
just think bad omens follow Alonso around the
Yeah.
world when it
Mm-hmm.
is related to Honda. So
Okay.
I think Lance Stroll will get round, and I think
Mm-hmm.
Alonso might not get round at all.
Okay.
So let's see if that comes in. Next up, we have the other side of the grid. Who do we think is going to qualify in pole position?
I think that Charles Leclerc is going to qualify on pole position.
Why?
Because Ferrari have shown a lot of promise in the most recent testing in terms of their start capabilities. And I think that in the context of qualifying, where you're not racing other cars in real time, you're doing your own laps as opposed to laps against other cars. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's literally the whole point of the sport. And then, he just got married, so he's probably in a really good space mentally, which, can't always be said for Leclerc. He looks sad a lot of the time. So, yeah, that's literally the reason why. Most of my answers are just, vibes essentially. So
That's all we can go
that's all we
off. It is
have.
the new
Yeah.
season. That's all we can go off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also with Charles Leclerc did get the fastest time in testing in
Also
Bahrain.
that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, pole position. I have gone for George Russell.
Oh,
I think that Mercedes is going to be a rocket ship. Everyone's
okay.
saying, "Oh, it's really close between the top four. Like Mercedes aren't that far ahead." I
You
call
think they
BS.
are? Yeah.
I think Mercedes are going to go, "Oh yeah, no, we've just been running at like 20% capacity for the whole of the
Mm-hmm.
testing. Let's just dial that up to like 50 just to give everyone
Mm-hmm.
like a smidge that they might have a fighting chance. And as soon as they
Mm-hmm.
get closer, dial up to 100." George Russell, I think, is going to be chomping at the bit to get out on track and finally put together a bit of a championship campaign together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Russell will be in first place. There he is. If anyone's watching on YouTube, Sinead is just bringing George Russell
He's like way
into
too tall.
frame. He's way too tall.
There
There
he
he
is.
is.
Hiya.
Hello, George.
Hi.
George, you're going to be on pole position on Saturday. That's what I think. And
Oh,
actually,
thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
let me just very quickly run through how Formula One weekend works, because we're aware that some people are quite new to Formula One that have been listening to this podcast. So Formula One works in a way of 3 days. On Friday, there are 2 practice sessions. Those sessions are for both cars. So I think we've said in the past when we did testing, there was only 1 car from each team allowed on track at any one time. So sometimes it will be Charles Leclerc. So let's take Ferrari as an example. They have Charles Leclerc and they have Lewis Hamilton as their drivers. On testing that we had in Bahrain a couple of weeks ago, Leclerc might do the morning and Hamilton might do the afternoon, followed by Hamilton might do the full day, followed by Charles might do the full day. So they both had a day and a half in the car over a 3-day test. We're now into the competitive season. They have their own cars. They go out on track and they're allowed to run for as long as they can, as they want, do all of their testing programs, whether it's qualifying, race simulations, testing tires, testing aero, blah, blah, blah. 2 sessions on a Friday. Third practice on a Saturday. We then have qualifying on a Saturday afternoon after all 3 practice sessions. This is where qualifying is broken up into 3 parts. The first part, all the cars go out on track for 18 minutes and they have to post a lap time. The slowest 6 cars, last year it was 5, we have 22 cars on the grid this year, so therefore the slowest 6 cars will be eliminated. So the positions from P17 to P22, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, yes, 17 to 22 they'll be fixed. So let's say our prediction comes in and Alonso is slowest and last on the grid, he will stay there. We then go into Q2, qualifying session 2, where positions cars that qualified in 1 to 16th in Q1 would go out and set a lap time again. That's a 15-minute session. The slowest 6 cars again will then be eliminated, and they will be in those fixed grid slots. So then we have position 11 all the way to P22. That's fixed. The final session used to be 12 minutes. It's now been added another minute, I assume, because of all this turbo lag and them getting up to speed, blah, 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 is now a 13-minute session where 10 cars go out on track for 13 minutes, post the fastest lap. The person that gets the fastest lap will be on pole position. And they use the fastest tires. In Q1, the slower teams will use the fastest tires in the hope of getting through. But it's going to be carnage this year because of everything we've spoken about in terms of the rules and regulations, etc. Then after that's happened, the grid is set. The following day, there are a couple of support category races. So we've got an F2 race. There might be a Porsche Super Cup race. I'm not sure. But in terms of Formula One, there is just the race that happens. And I believe the race is about 52 or 53 laps around Albert Park in Melbourne. And that is how a Formula One weekend works for all those that don't know. Moving on to the race itself. Okay, who do we think is going to be last in the race?
So, adding on to my original prediction of Alonso qualifying last, in the event that Aston Martin do qualify and actually race, I think that Stroll will be last.
Okay.
Because if Alonso and Stroll are racing in equal machinery, Alonso is the better driver. So I think at the very least, he will be able to overtake his teammate, if not anything else.
Okay.
And that's my logic. And sorry, Stroll. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I I'm working with what I got here. So
Sergio Perez is going to be last. And I don't actually mean he'll be slowest. I just have a feeling that Cadillac might not make it to the end of a race and he'll retire. Now, if somebody crashes out on the first lap because Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari got the absolutely dream start, but he's absolutely just ploughed into the back of someone else because they got a slow start, that would actually mean that he would technically be last. So, bold prediction from both of us to go for the drivers that we actually think are just going to be slow. We're assuming that everyone's going to be well behaved into the first corner, but who knows?
Also, is a crash out or a DNF the same as being last?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It is.
Yeah, I think we should. Right. It should be a case of who is classified as last, which includes DNF. So you look at the sheets at the end. We can maybe change that. Maybe we'll change it to 5
people who are last because none of them finished.
Yes, but depending, but it'd be the one who went out the first.
Right.
The first person to go out would be last.
Yeah.
We might change this. We might tweak it. Let us know in the comments if you want us to tweak it. Maybe we can do a little prediction on how many people we think will finish the race. I just hit my printer with my hand. Okay, so next up we have best of the rest. Best of the rest is um, we spoke about it last week. The big four:
Mm-hmm.
McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. They seem to be in a different world and different like timings and things to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So end of the race, best of the rest. Somebody maybe in those top four teams, but I'm going to assume outside of those top four teams is going to be the best of like the tier 2 version of Formula
So
1.
outside the top 5 or
No, best of the rest in terms of like those two tiers of Formula 1.
interesting.
So
Okay.
it would based off what I'm saying, ninth.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Best of the rest. Best of Formula 1.2. Let's
Gotcha.
call it that.
Okay.
And I have gone with Oliver Behrman driving for
Hmm.
Haas. I think the Haas cars have the Ferrari engine in. They should go off the line pretty good from what we've seen in testing. Oliver Behrman had an amazing season last year, especially towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a star of the future. And I am all for Oliver Behrman doing well.
Me
And I
too.
think he will be best of the rest.
Interesting. So I interpreted this thing slightly differently, but I'm going to stick with what I wrote, even though I could come up with a different answer. You said that you would assume that none of the big four would feature in a potential best of the rest, but I have chosen a driver from one of those teams.
Interesting.
And I'm going to say Oscar Piastri.
Oh, at his home Grand Prix. Oh, savage. Okay. Why?
um it will become clear when I tell you my top 5, I think.
Right.
But I think of the big four, as we've talked about, McLaren are probably the ones with the biggest question mark over them, just from the way they've been speaking about their own kind of development as well. Like they don't, and again, sandbagging, blah, blah, blah. They could be lying, they could be underplaying where they're at. But I do think he'll finish inside the top 10, but I don't think he'll be up at the front with
Okay.
the other big four drivers.
Okay.
I could be,
Love
of
it.
course, I'll probably be completely wrong, but that's
That's the
the
fun.
nature
That's
of
the
the
fun part.
beast. Yeah.
Okay. Top 5. In 5th place, who have you gone for?
Here we go. Pierre Gasly.
I could get on board with that.
He was.
Crazy
I
race.
thought maybe we are going to do them in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because he's my wild card. I thought for every top 5 we do, I'm going to throw a wild card in.
Lovely. That's
So
yeah.
Pierre Gasly, his moment is long overdue. Alpine seem to be doing really well. As we've said 100 million times already, they're driving a Mercedes engine, which is a really good sign. And I think with the right circumstances and the right, if things go his way, I would love to see him finish in the top 5. So he's my pick.
Okay.
Gasly.
I have gone 5th place, Max Verstappen.
Mm.
I think Max will qualify well. I think. And I think the energy management is good, but I think well, there's reasons that I'll get into when we go through my other predictions as to why I think Max will be good. Yes, that is 5th place. In 4th place, I have gone for Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Woo!
Struggle with this one because I really want Ferrari and obviously Lewis to do well this year. But I think the Ferrari will get off the line well and overtake the likes of Max Verstappen potentially as everyone tries to squabble for position into that first corner. The contrary to what you mentioned about Charles Leclerc and the turbo and getting off the line, I don't think they'll qualify that well. So I think that start will help them.
Okay.
And it will help get a few positions. That smaller turbo is better placed. This is the smaller turbo that we spoke about last week for Ferrari. Is better placed at circuits that have lots of stopping, like lots of braking zones to go into like a right-hander, which is 90 degrees, to then go down a long straight. Australia is a bit more flowy, so therefore I don't think the Ferrari will be as strong as everybody's making out, but I'm still putting Lewis Hamilton in fourth position.
See, this is the difference between going on a wealth of technical knowledge and experience and as the aforementioned vibes that I talked about. So
yeah, but you wait and see that I am so wrong by the time we get to qualify. If we did this podcast like after practice on a Friday, Saturday, maybe none of the names I'm about to mention in first to fifth will even
but then
be
it
there
would be no
because we have
fun.
no idea. Yeah, exactly. We're doing it completely blind, which is...
Oh, that was one of the things, this is relevant, by the way, that I wanted to say about Drive to Survive, is that it's so fascinating to see everybody speak with confidence at the top of the season about how things are going to go. And then obviously there's like a Shakespearean dramatic irony as a watcher, because you're going, well, that's not going to happen. So it's like hindsight is 2020, so yeah, this is fun. Okay, so I think that fourth place is going to go to young Kimi Antonelli.
Yep. Okay.
He's in a Mercedes. He's driving for a Mercedes. With every race last season, he seemed to get better and better. Yeah, obviously he had some blips and whatever, but I'd say over the break, he's been working on his racecraft. He's been working on his, the mental side of everything, psychological sort of stuff that was maybe getting in the way for him. So yeah, he's my pick. Just going to keep it short and sweet.
Third place. Third place.
1 second. And in third place... Oh, do you want me to wait?
Yep. Who have you got in third place?
I have our Monegasque, Charles Leclerc. So even though I said he would qualify on pole, I think what we've spoken about, in terms of quick starts, but then maybe not keeping that going, that he has the potential to be quite quickly overtaken once the race really kicks off. But I still think he's going to do well and sort of hold his own. So
I have also gone for third place, Monsieur Charles Leclerc.
Woo! There we go.
Yeah. Similar reasons you just mentioned. I just don't... Yeah, I think the Mercedes is just going to be too powerful for him, giving no spoilers away. But I think this Mercedes is going to be too powerful for the Ferrari, and we will wait and see how things go. Second place.
Yeah, I think there's probably one more place that we're going to agree on.
Second place, I have gone for Oscar Piastri.
Oh.
I think McLaren didn't have the rebuffed all bells and whistles Mercedes engine. Based on their development last year and the year before, they should be good at developing a car, and I think already they will have developed quite a bit between testing and now, so they'll have a better understanding. And I would love Oscar Piastri to be fighting at the top because it is his home race. And last year it was cruelly taken away from him because of the rain, the weather. This week is looking like there might be rain on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday is looking okay at the moment. Sun and 24 degrees on Sunday at the moment. But I think Piastri has unfinished business at Melbourne. And this... Nope, never mind.
Okay.
Who have you got in second place?
One Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
The guy's an animal. Like, you put him out there in a tractor or like a minivan, and the adrenaline and the excitement and the rush that comes from going back to school and being back on track. I think he is gonna just he's gonna get a podium, I think, at the very least. So yeah, I've put him in second.
And finally, in first place,
George Russell. Yay!
Yeah, I have him on pole position.
You agree.
I have him on pole position, and I think he will probably take off into this. I think he's so ready to start off a championship-winning campaign. He's a very, very consistent driver. He's very meticulous. He's clean, and I believe there'll be carnage. I think there'll be carnage, especially on that first lap, especially
Yeah.
with the varying ability in starts. But I
Mhm.
think George Russell will probably clear off into the distance,
Yeah,
given
because he
all the
won't
information we
have to
have.
get through all the other car. If he starts in pole, he doesn't have to navigate the fact that he has to get around potentially like vehicles just like spinning and braking and going on fire and stuff. So yeah, that definitely will work to his advantage if he starts on
Yes.
pole.
If he starts in pole. I am going to raise something which I forgot, and I think I used as my Formula Fun fact a couple of weeks ago. The person that will be starting last is Valtteri Bottas
Oh
because he
yeah.
has a 5-place grid penalty. But we're taking it from the qualifying result, not
Yes.
from the technical and the rule bits that happen after qualifying happens. So we'll do that. I think we should do that for the season when we do predictions. For example, if George Russell wins, I think we both get a point. But then if it turns out that Russell's car is against the rules or something
Yeah.
and disqualified, maybe we'll just do half a point or something.
Okay. Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, that works for me. Yeah.
Sure. Lovely. Okay, well, we'll see how right or wrong we are. Okay, Formula Fun fact, and this is why I suddenly stopped myself when I was talking about Oscar Piastri, because my Formula Fun fact, because we are in Australia, I tried to find an Australian fun fact. Is it fun? I don't know, but I'm going to say it anyway. No Australian has ever won their home Grand Prix.
Whoa.
We have had 2 Australian drivers world champions, but they did not win the Australian Grand Prix. So no Australian has ever done it. I would love Oscar Piastri to be in the mix for a chance to do so, because I think Oscar Piastri is very good. I think he is very level-headed. I think he is very calm. He doesn't show any emotion, and I want him to win this race so we can see just a glimmer of what that emotion is instead of finishing the race and going, "Yeah, good job, guys." Like I want to see like him be excited.
Very good. I
That's my
think that's
Formula Fun fact.
Yeah, very fun. It was fun. Well done.
Thank you.
It was really good fun.
On to Quizifying.
Quizifying.
Would
So
you
we're
like
just
to
doing
go
one
first?
question each, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's for the best. Okay, so the drummer for a very, very famous pop band was also a Formula One driver for ATS and Tyrrell. He even had an unpaid sponsorship on his car from the band that he drummed for. Do you know what the band was? Now, I'll give you, I'll give you a time. We're talking the 70s. We're talking the early 80s. We're talking about a globally famous pop band from that time.
I don't know.
You look so sad.
I'm so bad with music.
Which is ironic.
I can tell. I know. I can tell you all the races that people won last year.
Yeah, but
I can tell you.
well, I'm not going to ask you that, am I?
Oh, I'm a nerd. I don't know when it comes to music and pop culture and all that stuff. Can I have an ABC?
Was it the Bee Gees, ABBA, or the Beach Boys?
It doesn't really help me. Well,
What did you want me to say? BTS.
ABBA?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. His name is Slim Borgud, and he was a drummer for ABBA, and then he became an F1 driver, or maybe it was the other way. No, it couldn't have been the other way around because ABBA sponsored his car. It was unpaid. But I actually, I know you can find a photo of the car online,
I will
and it
have a
says
look at
ABBA
that.
on the side. Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go.
I didn't know that.
I mean, he's not
yeah.
a famous driver by any means, but yeah.
Bringing the history lesson to Formula Fun. I love it. I'm so bad. I need to really brush up on it. I'm going to do some reading. But that was a very good fact. And a good question. That was a fact and a question in one. Good.
Well, there you go.
I sort of have the same thing. Okay. Martin Brundle, who we all know as a Formula One commentator. I'd say he's pretty much the godfather of Formula One commentating after Murray Walker. Rest in peace, my friend. But Martin Brundle used to be a Formula One driver. In 1996, he started the Australian Grand Prix, first race of the season, for not a brand new team, but a brand new team to him, Jordan. First race for Jordan. Turn 3, crashed into his friend David Coulthard and spun the car around in the air, snapped the car in half, and just about crawled out of it.
Right.
He then got back to the pits, and in those days, there was a third car, a spare car, and he wanted to race again. So he found the medic, on the doctor, the Formula One doctor, known as Sid, well, his name was Sid Watkins, and he ran up to Sid. He ran about 300 meters up the pit lane to Sid Watkins and said, I want to race again. Have you got any idea what question Sid asked Martin Brundle to confirm whether he could race again or not?
Can you say the alphabet backwards?
That would have been better.
Right.
He said, what's the date? He said, what's the date? I've just seen you run all this way. I think you're fine.
Right.
The date was Martin Brundle's father's birthday, so we definitely knew the date.
That's cheating.
And he ran past a marshal, because on TV and everything, everyone could see Martin Brundle running through the pit lane, speaking to the doctor, then running back. And he ran past a marshal, and a marshal went, what's going on? And all Martin Brundle did was put his thumb up to go, it's all good. And the crowd went wild. And he got in the spare car. Started the race again, because it was obviously red flagged after the accident. Got in the spare car, started the race again, and crashed again.
No way. I thought you were going to say, and he won.
No,
First place.
Wasn't as bad as didn't completely snap the car in half, but yeah, because back in those days, if you snap the car in half.
Was that like the end of his career then? And then he
No, he raced for the rest of that year.
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah.
But no, he crashed at the end of in that race as well. So he broke 2 cars in that race, but the first one you can barely tell looks like a car. So if you have YouTube and you're listening to this, just go on to 1996 Martin Brundle crash.
I will be doing that.
Lovely. Wonderful. There's our first predictions episode. Everyone who has been listening and supporting the podcast, please join us on this journey. Have a watch of the race. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, I understand it's a long time. It's probably about an hour and a half of an actual race, maybe longer. Watch the highlights for sure. Yeah. Stay with us on this journey. We'll see how we did with our predictions, which are probably all going to be atrocious. And yeah, but hit the bell notification to let you know when we do another episode and we upload it. And like it, comment, drop us in your comments. We are always asking for questions to come in. So if anyone has a question, please feel free to pop it in and we can try and explain it in the best way that we can. But for now, I think it's time to box. You have been listening to the Formula Fun podcast,
where Jay brings the formula
and Sinead brings the fun, and I am so excited for Australia.
Woo!
Bye!
Beep beep.